First of all, this road takes us to open area where the city is most socialized. The social area is in the form of a circle and the living spaces, houses and apartments in this area are located around the circle shape. At the same time, we can see from a distance that this road takes us to the open area because the number of trees used here is considerably higher than the number of trees used in other places. This road is used as a round trip and a return. This crossroads is like a separation between the social area and the apartments where there is a lot of living space. The road goes from the area where there are many living spaces to social area. And here the road converges with the road to the social sphere. I am crossing the road. We see that this tree takes us to the green area. As you can see, we can perceive the circular shape of this area from the location of the road and the positioning of the buildings related to the road and the open space there. This place is called Ata Park. This is one of the focal points in my route. People use this area extensively, reach from one point to another, and host activities around the corner. It is also a gathering area. Water flows normally here in the summer months. Even at night, the water flows in an illuminated way, but because it is winter, the water does not flow at the moment. At the same time, for this area, people give each other location as if we meet in the area of water flowing from the hill. This is one of the important location centers. Here, walking areas for sports, open green areas for people to socialize, park to for children to socialize, and at the same time, because people use these places as a walkway, signboards are generally placed to increase advertisement and sitting areas are located here. At the same time, concerts, celebrations, bazaars, etc. are organized in the Ata Park. There are volleyball and basketball courts, and since these fields are very crowded, games can be played in the order of names and for a certain time. These are social facilities. This area is one of the areas where people go most to drink tea and coffee during the summer months because it is in a central location so people can easily reach it. The walking path you see here is descriptive for Ata Park. A foreigner who comes to the city must have a photograph under this colorful area. It is a semi-open walking place with colored columns and a wooden top cover. People use this area as a passageway. This road is straight. There is an intermediate road in this area. These are the connection roads that connect the social areas of the road. There is a children's playground which can be considered the largest park for the city. This park is a memory place for me. This is Atakule, which is seen as the center of Atapark itself. Just across from this, Atakule is in the Atatürk Cultural Center. This is also a closed social space for people. Atakule is a place of gigantic height. On each floor of the floor, there are photographs describing the liberation of Uşak from the enemy occupation. It is quite remarkable as there is not such a tall building around it. This place can be used as a marker item on the route. I have determined because this is a place that can be easily identified even from afar and from different angles. Concerts are held in the middle of these two social areas. The under tower you see here is a study area that students usually come to and use as a library. This area is seen above the center area. When viewed from here, the city will be felt under your feet. I want to go from the left side and go around to Atakule. I want to go from the left side and walk around to Atakule. The surrounding buildings in this area attract my attention. The buildings in this area are generally 4 and 5 floors and have large balconies. In addition, side roads are separated from other streets inside Atapark, which increases the use of this area by people. As you can see, Atakule can be easily seen from wherever we look on the walking path. Now I connect to the street from the side road next to the Atatürk Cultural Center. Transportation is very easy as there are many such intermediate roads. Almost all public transport vehicles pass through this street. Access to this area is quite easy by public transport, personal vehicle or on foot. The pavement here is wide and this pavement is bisected by the landscape. In this way people can walk on this road quite comfortably. Again, as you can see, Atakule can be easily seen from wherever we look on the walking path. Water flows here in the summer months and the sound of water comes from the stairs like a waterfall. Here we see the roads. I can distinguish these roads as intersections and bridges used to reach the Atapark, to go to another place from the Atapark to connect to the city center. This place is a traffic hub. The main road here is the Uşak-İzmir main road. For example, I use this road when I come to Izmir. At the same time, this main road is the Uşak-Ankara main road. It is a very busy road. Also, looking back from this area, we see that the Atakule can still be seen. There is an open parking lot here. It was previously used as an indoor gym but was later demolished. Next to it is the stadium. There are advertising signs on this road at certain intervals. The intersections here are also nodes because it connects streets and side streets, and the roads they connect are very important, crowded and center places. When I cross the road, there is library at the corner of the road and it is quite a large library. Since it is in a central location, students can come here easily. Here we see that the pavement roads are made of different stones on the driveway. There are trees on the sidewalks at certain intervals on this sidewalk. This area works like a square where the street meets. Main streets are connected by side streets. The roads here work as intersection points. There is also a bus stop for all buses of the city. We see that the roads here are made of different materials as vehicle roads and pedestrian paths. There is a square in this area. There is a historical fountain in this area. There is an old built mosque at the corner of this road. It is one of the historical points. The roads here also work as focal points. People use it heavily. There is a lot of traffic at certain times of the day. I am crossing the road. Here the vehicle road is reduced to one line. Vehicles park in the other line. In this way we understand that there is a shortage of car parking in this area. I see that the pavements here are not very wide. People cannot walk very comfortable here. This area is the center for this environment. A vegetable and fruit market is established in this area. Since the sidewalks are narrow in this area, people can sometimes walk down the driveway and this can be dangerous. There is a historical mosque on the corner of the side streets. There is a square next to the side mosque and people can use it as a socializing area. This road leads to the old residential area of the city. Sidewalks on this street are quite narrow and people have difficulty walking. Here, traffic flows in one direction and is one line. There is a very old historical site here. This place was used as an inn in the past and the construction of the inn took 3 years. Its construction was completed in 1898 and 3,000 gold was spent during the construction. But today it is used as a hotel. This is one of the important historical buildings for the public. There is a parking lot opposite this hotel and this parking lot is constantly crowded due to the parking shortage in this area. In this area, the street is divided into streets. There is also great historical mosque here. This mosque is 600 years old. One of the points. This mosque is one of the important focal points that people use when describing locations. There is a bazaar of sarrafs here. This is where the people come from if they want to buy gold. There is construction here now, but there was a square here before and this square was working as a center that distributed people to different points. There is a road here and it separates from square from the streets. There is construction on the street and on the pavement and the roads are not smooth right now, but I will explain it as if it were the old one. This is the city's first and only major street. This street is known as İsmet Pasha Street. In this street, people shop, eat, sit in the cafe, take all their daily work on the street and meet their needs. At the same time, this street is divided into side streets. The circulation in the street works without interruption. People use this place extensively. It is close to the vehicle road, therefore people can walk comfortably here. In the street, the sign of all businesses are uniform and almost the facades of most buildings are the same color. The openings on the facade always face the street. Some buildings have cafes on the top floors and the open areas of these cafes face the street. This shows as the importance of the streets. This place is on the same street, but this place is known as Orhan Dengiz Boulevard. There used to be an Orhan Dengiz High School here, and I think it got its name from this street. There are also side streets on this boulevard, and people use these streets a lot. The signs of the businesses on this boulevard are also uniform, and the facades of the buildings are almost the same color. There is not much landscape work on these streets. Here is the square of the street. The use of green areas has increased in this area and people can sit and socialize in this area. There is the water show in the pool in this area. The sound of water attracts people's attention in this area. Here is the intersection again. It connects streets to each other and the alleys. The traffic here is pretty heavy. This area is one of the points that can be considered as the center of the city. When I cross this road, there is a statue of one of the symbols of the city center. This is a meeting point for people. People use this place quite often when describing a place. This is a meeting point of the most people living in Uşak. We often use the phrase, let's meet at a statue. This is the focal point. When we walk straight from the statue here, we come to the beginning of the street. The pavements here are very wide. There are trees planted on the same axis. This street is a street, and this is the beginning of street for me. The Grand Mosque that I mentioned before is at the end of the street because I will always enter the street from this side of the street and exit the street from the Great Mosque, but for someone else it might be the opposite. At the beginning of the street there is a social facilities at the corner of the main road. Since this place is very close to the street, it is very easy to reach and many people come here. Hot chocolate is very good. We see that the pavement here is using a different material than the paving stone used in a previous pavement. There is an intersection here, and this intersection is one of the city's focal points. These roads include connection roads that allows us to connect from the streets to the main road to main roads of Uşak, Ankara, Uşak, İzmir, to upper bridge and under the bridge, car parking, intersection and pedestrian roads. This complex here is very busy at 8-9 in the morning and 4-5 in the evening because the people living in the city disperse through this road and reach their workplaces. This road goes to the industrial zone, goes to the main street. It is the main road of Uşak İzmir, and at the same time it is main road of Uşak Ankara. People use it move from these areas to other areas. This area works as a focal point. It is also works as routing routes to the region. Crossing this road, I pass to the area where there are more apartments. Crossing this bridge, I leave these streets. The facades of the buildings in the surrounding are colored. At the same time, there are balconies and openings on the side facing the road. The buildings here are old structures. When I go straight from here, there is a beet cooperative. There was a first sugar factory established in Uşak in ancient time, and Uşak was one of the important points of sugar industry in the past. Later, a beet cooperative is established in Uşak. The meaning of these places is important to people. There is an intersection here. It connects the main streets to the side roads. This is a focal point. Then opposite the beet cooperative is the train station district. The reason why it is called the train station area is because there is a train track here. This is the edge of the city. The railway creates an edge effect between the two regions. It allows people and vehicles from some places, but in general it surrounds the city and does not allow crossing. There is also the repair buildings of the Turkish Railways here. It is possible to see trains that here. There is also a train station here. There is a lot of noise because of the train station in this area. In addition, since the main road here is used a lot of by people living in this area are disturbed by noise. We see billboards on the sidewalk here. This area can be counted as one of the focal points because it is one of the roads that people use most. The building here is the Uşak Museum. There is almost no opening on the facade of the museum which faces a road. Uşak is a region rich in current treasures and historical artifacts from many periods are exhibited in this museum. It can be visited at certain times of the day. Also next to the museum there is a social place where people can celebrate their special days such as weddings and invitations. There is also a train station here. The train station is important for transportation and people also use this train station to take pictures. I have photos here too. Trains are not used as much for transportation as in the old times. For this reason, it has been important location for photo shoots in terms of adding a nostalgic atmosphere as a place that reminds of old times. There is a street opposite the train station. This street is one of the important points. Because it is not only directs the people living in the city of the city to the city centers, but also directs them to the Şeref Street, which is the second of the most important streets of the city. The first is İsmet Paşa Street. Şeref Street is an important street for people. When we look at this street from below, we see that there is a slope. The landscape in the middle of the road on the street is more than the landscape on the sidewalk, and the landscape that makes this fork on the road is a wide landscape. When I cross the road, there is the military and lodging in this area. In front of these lodgings is the Mevlana Park, which is also important for the people living in this area. When I go straight on this road, there is an intersection. This intersection is an important point that connects people from the main streets to the side streets. This is a Karakıran mosque at this corner of the road. This mosque took its name from the region. This region is called Karakıran region. This road is bidirectional and there is a large landscape area in the middle that separates the road. I crossed the road and the sidewalks in this area are cut by the side streets. The buildings here are called insurance houses. It's called that way because there was an insurance hospital in this area before, so it took its name from the region. By looking at the facades of the building here, we can understand that they are old settlements. If I continue on this road, I come to the intersection, which is a focal point. This intersection is one of the most used intersections by the citizens. This intersection is one of the points. If I continue on this way, it brings me to the area where I first started the route. This place is the starting place where I created my route. The reason I come to this place in the evening is because I wanted to show the different lighting, the use of vehicles and people in the evening. First of all, this road is a road that takes us to the social area, and even now it is possible to see a few people and there are not few vehicles. Although human use is not as much as in the morning, people still use it. Atakule is the places that I want to show here in the evening. In addition, the advertising signs on the road to the Atakule were illuminated with LED lights. When we come to the Atakule, as you can see, it is colored with red colors and draws attention at night with its gigantic size. It can be seen even from faraway points.